High in the sky above Wishworld, hidden behind a starry canvas of vibrant colors and shimmering starbursts, Lady Stella continued her late-night studies into Starland's ancient past at the Illumination Library. She pored over translucent scrolls and celestial artifacts, searching for answers to Starland's latest crisis. Since Rancora had been posing as Lady Cordial for some time, Lady Stella could not gauge just how much secret knowledge she had gathered and absorbed during her time at the Academy. She remembered with anger how much she had trusted Lady Cordial, even taking her into her confidence and sharing with her the prophecy of the 12 Starlings, who together would save Starland. Of course Rancora had used that information to hurt Starland even more, but what Lady Stella was focusing on that night was the page of the oracle Rancora had taken when she was disguised as Lady Cordial. What information did it hold, and how was Rancora using it to her advantage? The lights flickered throughout Starland, a reminder that some negative energy, enough to affect the balance of positive wish energy on Starland, had been released when Rancora intercepted the bad wish orb. Lady Stella's star zap flashed brightly. It was time for her to check the wish energy levels of the star darlings on Wishworld. She carefully studied the numbers. Sage, Leona, and Scarlet's collective wish energy had fallen to startlingly low levels, well below what any starling had endured before while on a wish mission. Lady Stella quickly made a cup of zing and went back to her research. She couldn't stop thinking of Rancora, and as she held the warm cup in her hand, an image came to her so clearly that she knew it must mean something. It was Rancora, with her teardrop-shaped pendant. In a moment Lady Stella realized that Rancora must have given Vivika her pendant to collect the negative energy from the bad wish. She jumped up, spilling a bit of zing on the table. The pendant. Of course, she said. The Star Darlings must take possession of the teardrop pendant if the mission is to succeed. Vega and Libby were fast asleep in their dorm rooms. Suddenly, they were awakened by their star zaps. Libby sat up in a flash. Oh my stars! What's happening? She checked her star zap. The message read urgent, come to my office at once. It was from Lady Stella. Vega had already dressed and was out the door on her way to Lady Stella's office before Libby had even lifted her toothlight to brush her teeth. Vega immediately surmised that she would be going to Wishworld. Why else would Lady Stella call her to her office at that star whore? As she rushed down the Little Dipper dormitory hallway, she wondered, what has happened to Sage, Leona, and Scarlet? What has Vivika done? Is the mission in trouble? Two colorful streaks lit up the sky, one bright pink and the other a crystalline blue. On urgent instructions from Lady Stella, Libby and Vega were traveling down to Wishworld, on their way to deliver key information to Sage, Leona, and Scarlet. Vivika's teardrop pendant must be recovered at once. Vega and Libby had also brought reserves of the much-needed wish energy the Star Darlings needed to replenish their wish pendants. When Vega and Libby showed up at the storage room, Sage was surprised and disheartened to see them. What are you guys doing here? She demanded. She was concerned Lady Stella had lost faith in her. Libby motioned for Sage, Leona, and Scarlet to come to her so that she could recharge their pendants. As Libby restored the wish pendants to their full power, Vega explained, there is new information we have to share with you guys. She looked at the Star Darlings' wish pendants as she spoke. Vivika's teardrop pendant, we have to get it from her. Alarmed, Sage said, our special powers aren't working on Vivika or her wisher Clara. We can't get through to Clara or even close to Vivika. That's what Lady Stella said, that as long as Vivika wears the pendant she will be too powerful. If we take it from her, those powers will start to fade, added Libby, who had successfully recharged the wish pendants with positive wish energy. Sage's eyes brightened at the new information. Well, we've got more positive energy now. Together we can take the teardrop necklace. Exactly, Vega replied. Sage looked at Scarlet, reflecting on how dreamy Scarlet had gotten when Holly sang the love ballad in rehearsal. She said with concern, Scarlet, that means no distractions. Scarlet jumped to her own defense. I'm as focused as you and Leona, she retorted, although she knew deep down that Maxwell had sidetracked her. She didn't want to admit it to Sage or the other Star Darlings. As much as she was committed to the mission to save Starland, she found herself continually pushing down thoughts of Maxwell. Overwhelmed with emotion, Scarlet left the storage room in a huff. I need to get out of here. Just then, an announcement came over the Arts Center speakers. Dress rehearsal for the spring variety show in the main theater is starting now. Leona leaped over to the hanging mirror. This wishling hair is way harder to manage than my hair on Starland. There's just no sparkle. Leona, this isn't about your hair, Sage insisted. We've got to get that teardrop pendant or the mission will fail. Vega and Libby looked at each other. Libby leaned in to whisper to Vega. Looks like we came at just the right time. Everyone was energized by dress rehearsal jitters. It was the night before the big show, the last night of rehearsal. Sage and Leona, both dressed as stage crew, checked around the busy backstage area, crowded with students preparing for their acts. Some were listening to their headphones, tuning out the world, while others stretched in yoga positions or ran vocal scales to themselves. Hiding in the wings of the theater, Sage looked around and whispered to Leona, "Where's Scarlet?" "Don't see her anywhere," Leona said, searching to see if Scarlet was in the audience. Scarlet had escaped to the girls' bathroom after she had stormed out of the storage room. The Star Darlings are right. I can't let down Starland over a wishling boy. She was alone, so she looked into the wide mirror above the sink. She wanted strength and focus before she spoke to Maxwell. She knew it was best to tell him she couldn't see him anymore. She recited her mirror mantra. It's time for some star power. A surge of positive energy filled her body. She hoped it would be enough to help her say goodbye to Maxwell and focus on the mission better. As soon as she sent the Stars app message to Maxwell, explaining that she was going to be too busy to hang out, she was surprised by a pang in her heart. She raced out of the girls' room, went back to the hideout to put on her stage crew clothes, and then quickly found Leona and Sage backstage. "I'm back," she told them, out of breath. "Sorry about before. I'm all about the mission now, I promise." "Then let's save Starland," Sage said. Wordsworth shouted to the Star Darlings, "Stage crew, out here now." He saw Sage peeking out from the wings. "Hey you," Sage pointed to herself. "Me?" Scarlet reminded Sage and Leona. "We're stage crew." "Yes, you," Wordsworth said impatiently. Sage rushed into the audience where the director was sitting. He looked at her. "I haven't seen you around here. Are you new?" "Yes, I'm new, that's it." "I'm new," Sage told the director. "Of course you're new," he said in agreement, and then got back to business. "We're working on the final lineup for the show. Bring this list to the assistant director." "Absolutely." By the time she handed the list to the assistant director, Sage had already memorized the show order. Then Wordsworth shouted, "Lights, I need a spotlight yesterday." He saw Leona. "You, stagehand. Over here, I need to check out the spotlight. Come here and stand center stage." The director pointed right at her. Leona flipped her wavy brown wishling hair back and headed center stage under the spotlight, where she felt most at home. She loved the sensation of the warm light on her skin. For a moment she imagined that she was back on Starland and asked, "Would you like me to sing for you, test out the microphone?" Wordsworth barked, "Microphone? We're checking light cues, sweetheart. Auditions are over." Then he thought about it for a minute. "Wait, I have an idea. You know the show, right?" Leona played along. "Of course. Perfect. The dancers are off getting their final fittings, so I need some stand-ins to do the number for the lighting team. Why don't you show me some of the moves, okay?" Leona hesitated at first. She tried to remember some of the dance moves she had learned on her first day on Wishworld, when she had joined the dance class. "A pirouette, right?" She smiled from ear to ear, hoping she had guessed the right move. "This number is the modern dance. You do know that one, right?" he asked, running low on time and patience. Leona pretended to know exactly what the director was talking about, and she nodded. "Yes, totally." She looked at the wings and saw both Scarlet and Sage on their Stars apps, quickly looking up the definition of modern dance. She looked at them, shrugging. The director pointed to Sage and Scarlet too. "I'll need those two stagehands out on stage, as well." Sage and Scarlet looked up, caught off guard. They walked on stage, with the spotlight following them. Sage called out to the director, Sorry, but we don't know the routine." The director looked slightly annoyed but told her, "Just line up, listen to the music, and follow her lead." He pointed at Leona, then told them, "Do your best." Leona beamed. "I so have this one." She immediately started dancing around the stage. The lighting team adjusted the lights, following Leona's interstellar moves around the stage. Wordsworth grinned. He said sarcastically, "How about we just start with the song first?" Leona gasped. "Of course, music, sound crew, cue music," Wordsworth shouted. The music began. It was a high-energy beat, Leona's favorite. She did her best to remember the routine she had learned in dance class her first day there. With the spotlight on all three star darlings, they had no choice but to improvise the dance together. Leona slid across the stage, her friends trying to keep up with her, and she reminded them, "It's for the mission." The cast and crew turned to see what was happening on stage. "Impressive for stage crew," Wordsworth called out to them. "Nice job. But I need one more volunteer. There are 4 dancers in this number." He waved to the sound team. "Stop the music." He looked into the audience of students waiting to rehearse their acts. "Anyone want to volunteer?" Someone called out, "I volunteer." The star darlings looked at each other. They knew who that voice belonged to. It was a starling, and her name was Vivika. Vivika appeared from the audience, taking her time dramatically making her way onto the stage. She was already dressed in dancewear, almost like she had planned the whole thing. Before the music started again, she noticed Vega and Libby standing in the wings. "You two are here too? 3 star darlings weren't enough for me?" "Music!" shouted Wordsworth. The star darlings began the dance again. Sage danced over to Leona and Scarlet. She told them, "We need the pendant, this is our chance." Wordsworth asked Vivika, "Are you ready?" She answered with an air of complete confidence. "I've been ready for this for a very long time." Her necklace crackled. She tucked it under her leotard, unbeknownst to the wishlings who stood and watched the dance as the tech team adjusted sound and lights. This was a battle for a higher purpose, for the future of Starland. Sage discovered that now that her energy levels were higher, her energy manipulation skills were more powerful. She concentrated on Vivika's necklace, visualizing the clasp in back and loosening it, while Scarlet tried with her special powers to throw Vivika off balance and lift her off the ground. Leona moved around, ready to catch the teardrop necklace before it fell to the stage. As Leona danced over to Vivika, Vivika grabbed Leona by the arm and pulled at her wish pendant cuff. She turned Leona around so fast that Leona lost her footing and slid across the stage. The lighting crew tried desperately to keep up with all the action on stage. Wordsworth was enthralled. "What inspired movements? These girls are naturals." Leona checked herself out and appeared to be fine, but she was concerned that her cuff was damaged. She tried to reason with Vivika. "Why are you doing this to us?" Sage effortlessly floated over to Vivika, who still seemed to be dancing for the lights. "Tell us what happened." "Why are you helping Rancora?" Sage asked. "You know why," Vivika insisted with great anger in her voice. Scarlet leaped into the air in an attempt to look like she was dancing, but really she was trying to grab the teardrop necklace. Vivika pointed at Scarlet and sent her flying into the air just as she was about to grab the necklace. Scarlet, furious but more determined than ever to defeat Vivika, stood up and rejoined Sage and Leona. The star darlings formed a circle around Vivika, still modern dancing their hearts out, or at least doing their best impression based on the rehearsals they had watched. "What are you talking about?" Leona asked. She truly didn't understand Vivika's fiery accusations. "You and the star darlings have hurt me time and time again. You know exactly what you've done. I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen again." Sage shook her head. "We never did anything to you." "You make me feel invisible," Vivika said. "Everyone can shine on Starland. You know that, Vivika." Sage insisted. "Please give us the pendant." She reached out her hand. "For Starland." Vivika had been holding in her anger for so long she couldn't contain it anymore. "Starland? The star darlings do all the shining up on Starland. Starting with that whole band audition. That was a joke. Your band was chosen way before you sent out that flyer." "Vivika, you're a starling, just like us." "Why would you want to work with Rancora to destroy Starland?" Leona asked. "You're forgetting one thing. I'm not a star dipper, star darling." She felt a tinge of jealousy whenever she said the word star darlings. Blue and black sparks shot out from her teardrop necklace. "I've stayed in the shadows too long. I'm sick of always being left out." Sage knew the mission was on the line and tried to get through to Vivika. "You're as good as any of us." Even though Leona had negative feelings toward Vivika, she felt herself letting go of her personal issues and tapping into the better part of herself that benefited everyone on Starland. "Vivika, you're so talented. Your energy manipulation skills are amazing. No starling can deny that. I'll never shine as brightly as the star darlings as long as Lady Stella is the headmistress at Starling Academy. Never. After I grant Clara's negative wish, and release the bad wish orb's negatites on Starland, Rancora's power will be restored. Then I'll be her only apprentice. I'll shine brighter than all the star darlings together. Imagine that." She laughed in a mean-spirited way. Her necklace crackled and sparked again. Sage watched in disbelief, and thought about how angry Vivika had become since she had absorbed the negatites. She wanted to defend herself and the other star darlings but stopped. She suddenly knew why Vivika had turned against the star darlings in Starland. Vivika had been hurt by them. They had not done it intentionally, but they had hurt her nevertheless. She had felt hidden in the shadows, invisible and ignored, just like the wisher, Clara, felt. Sage finally understood that underneath Vivika's name-calling and snarky attitude, she really wanted to be a star darling. Vivika had felt left out when Lady Stella hadn't chosen her to be one of them, so she had turned to darkness, where she could receive all the attention she desired from Rancora, without any competition from the star darlings. Sage tried to tap into the best part of Vivika and reach out to her that way. She assured her. "You don't have to do this," Scarlet urged Vivika. "Please stop your plans to grant Clara's bad wish. Starland needs a starling like you," Leona said with open arms. That startled Vivika. She was unsure how to react. She hadn't felt seen by the star darlings, and now there they were, acknowledging and praising her. She touched her teardrop necklace and reminded herself of her bad wish mission and the promise to Rancora. "You'll have a nice show tomorrow. I'm thinking of dedicating Clara's performance to Starland. By the end of the show, the star darlings will lose their shine forever." "End of the show?" Sage asked Vivika, looking at the other star darlings. Could that be when the bad wish would be granted? Just as Vivika was about to respond, Wordsworth stopped the dance. "We've got the light cues set now and the sound levels too. Thank you, girls. Nice intensity to the dancing. You should consider auditioning next season. I like your commitment." Vivika smirked, pointing to Leona's wish pendant cuff. "Did you break something?" Leona covered her pendant with one hand, then checked it. It appeared to be okay. She'd have to take a closer look later. Vivika strutted off stage and left a trail of fiery blue and black sparks in her path as she exited the theater. She imagined that Rancora was exceedingly pleased with her progress on the mission. In one more day, the bad wish would be granted. Oblivious to the extreme tension between the star darlings and Vivika, Wordsworth turned to the cast and crew. "Dress rehearsal is over. Tomorrow is showtime, everyone. Get some rest. Except stage crew." He looked at the star darlings. "I need this theater cleaned up and prepped for tomorrow. Now, got it?" Exhausted, the star darlings nodded at Wordsworth. They had just experienced a major setback on the mission, and had failed to gain control of the powerful teardrop pendant. Sage smiled weakly. "We're on it. The theater will be ready for opening night." The question was, would the star darlings be ready?